Arrival at the training grounds. The training grounds on planet Naver were not meant for beginners. It was a high-gravity world with violent winds and jagged rocks everywhere. Only elite soldiers from across the galaxy trained here. Aliens with thick skin, armor-like scales, and centuries of battle experience came to prove their strength. It was a place of pain, fear, and discipline. And yet, among all of them, walked a human cadet. His name was Adam. Just Adam. No titles, no special. Bloodline. He wore a basic training suit and carried no advanced weapons. He looked too young to be among hardened warriors. His skin was soft, his voice quiet, and his eyes calm. Many of the aliens sneered when they saw him. One tall, blue-skinned creature muttered, "Is this a joke? The thing can barely breathe here." Adam had arrived only 2 days ago, and he hadn't complained once. Not when his bunk was placed near the exhaust vents, not when his rations were cold, and not when his boots didn't fit. He just kept training. Commander Gar, a 4-armed veteran of 30 wars, stood before the cadets. His voice echoed through the stone field. "Today begins the gauntlet trial," he said. "Each of you will face the rig test. Speed, balance, pain. Many of you will fail. Some may even die." The rig was a brutal machine. It moved like a wild beast. Long metal arms swung with crushing force. Random spikes shot out from the ground, and stun blasts rained from hidden walls. Even advanced cadets, trained for months before trying it. Adam raised his hand. "I want to go first," he said. Everyone laughed. Even the command staff behind Gar exchanged surprised looks. "You will break," said a reptilian cadet. "Your bones are paper." "Commander." Gar narrowed his eyes. "Very well, human. Enter the rig." The rig's gate opened with a loud clank. Inside, the arena buzzed with energy. Red lights flashed. Warning sirens blared. Adam stepped in without hesitation. The moment the door closed, the trial began. The first blow came fast, a swinging bar, aimed at the chest. Adam ducked. The second attack was sharper. A rod from below struck his thigh. He groaned but didn't fall. Spikes emerged from the floor, and he jumped between them, barely making the last step. A heavy rotating arm slammed into his shoulder. The sound was sickening. A crack echoed. Everyone watching winced. One of the alien medics reached for their kit, but Adam stood up. His left arm dangled awkwardly. Blood dripped from his sleeve. But he didn't stop. The rig fired a stun blast. That struck him in the back. He staggered forward, fell to one knee, but then got up again. His legs wobbled. His face was pale, but he kept walking through the spinning metal and fire. "He's mad," whispered someone in the crowd. Another said, "He should be unconscious." When Adam finally exited the rig, his arm was clearly broken. His shirt was scorched. His lip was bleeding, but his walk was steady. He stood before Commander Gar, raised his head, and said, "Next." A silence fell over the training yard. The laughter had stopped. The mockery vanished. Adam turned and sat down on a bench. He didn't ask for help. He didn't cry out. He just waited for the next test. For the first time, the alien warriors looked at the human not with jokes, but with quiet respect. And deep down, some of them felt a chill. If this was just a cadet, what were the others like? Asterisk, the whisper through the barracks night, had fallen over the harsh world of Naver. The air was cold and dry, and sharp winds howled outside the cadet barracks. Most trainees were silent, nursing bruises and burns from the day's trials. No one dared to speak loudly after the brutal rig test. Not after what they had seen got in the far corner of the room. Adam sat alone, wrapping his arm with basic med strips. He hadn't gone to the medical wing. He hadn't reported the injury. His shoulder was swollen and purple, But he still moved with calm focus. A tall insectoid named Brick leaned over to his bunkmate. "That human, he should have passed out," Breck whispered. "That blow crushed 3 of my ribs last cycle." "I know," said another, eyes wide. "He didn't even scream." The whispers spread fast through the barracks, through the canteen, even to the officer's tent. Word reached Commander Gar within the hour. The commander stood before a holomap, watching cadet progress. A lower officer approached and said, "Sir, the human Adam, he hasn't reported to medbay." "Why not?" Gar asked. "Said, he's fine." Gar raised a brow. His shoulder was broken. He taped it up, then asked when the next trial starts. The commander said nothing for a long moment. Then a slow smile crept across his face. Interesting. The next morning, the cadets gathered in the open field. The winds were stronger today, carrying dust that stung the eyes. The second trial was called the wall climb. Simple in design, but deadly in practice. 100 feet of sheer metal wall, slick with ice from the mountain air, pulsing with timed shock currents. No suits allowed, no tools. Just muscle, focus. And will. Commander Gar explained the rules. You reach the top in 5 minutes. If not, you fall. And if you fall, the ground will decide your fate. A few cadets stepped forward, confidently strong climbers with built-in claws or suction. Limbs. Others hesitated, staring at the towering wall. But all eyes shifted to Adam. His arm was still damaged. He had done nothing to hide it. His fingers were stiff, movement awkward. And yet, when the signal was given, he ran to the wall. He grabbed the icy surface and began climbing. No hesitation. Every few feet, the wall pulsed. Blue light flashed. Another cadet screamed and fell. The wind grew fiercer. Metal groaned. Time ticked. Halfway up, Adam's hand slipped. His injured arm gave way, and he slammed hard against the wall. Blood marked the spot, but he didn't let go. He re-gripped with his good hand and dragged himself upward. By the time he reached the top, only 4 others had made it. None of them had injuries. None had fought the rig the way he did. As Adam stood at the summit, staring down at the rest, even the instructors paused. One said quietly, "He doesn't move like the others." Another nodded, "He doesn't stop." Back in the mess hall that evening, an alien cadet sat across from Adam. He was broad, thick-skinned, from a world where gravity crushed metal. "You're not like the humans they show us in vids," he said slowly. Adam looked up. "What do they show you?" The alien snorted. "That you're soft, weak, too emotional, always needing help." Adam didn't respond for a moment. Then he smiled slightly. "Maybe that's what we want you to think." The alien stared, unsure whether it was a joke. The truth was beginning to dawn across the training base. The human didn't just survive. He endured. And somewhere in the shadowed corners of the base, reports were already being filed. Notes about a cadet who moved through pain like it was nothing. A young man who didn't bend when most would break. What they didn't know was that this was just the beginning. Asterisk orders from above, 3 solar cycles had passed since Adam arrived at the training base, and whispers about him had now reached far beyond the camp. On a military outpost orbiting Naver, a high-ranking alien commander reviewed the footage from the rig test and the wall climb. His thick fingers paused the screen on a close-up of Adam's bruised body as he stood upright after the crushing hit. He turned to his assistant. You certain he's just a cadet?" "Yes, sir. No genetic enhancements. No exosuit support. Just ... human." The commander stared at the screen again, narrowing his eyes. "Send a report to Central Command. Mark it. Priority observation Terran resilience." Back on Naver, Adam stood quietly in the rocky canyon. where the next test was being held. This one was different. Less physical, more tactical. It was called the Echo Run, a solo mission simulation through a fake war zone, filled with sensor traps, explosive dummies, and psychological distractions. Designed to break a soldier's focus, each cadet had 1 hour to navigate it without getting tagged by a single sensor beam. You lose focus, explained the trainer, and you're dead. Adam's name was called Third. He stepped into the dark tunnel entrance. The moment the light vanished behind him, the simulation activated. It started small flickers of light, distant sounds of gunfire, screams echoing from the walls. Adam didn't flinch. Next came illusions holographic. Enemies lunging from the shadows, pressure plates disguised as rocks, audio distractions mimicking his own voice, yelling for help. Some cadets fell for these. They hesitated. They stopped. They panicked. But Adam moved forward. He didn't run. He didn't rush. He just walked at a steady pace, eyes focused, ignoring the chaos. The wall beside him suddenly lit up with a blinding white light. Most would have shielded their eyes and triggered a sensor. Adam simply turned his head. Then the test played its final trick. A projection appeared, a woman calling his name. Adam, help me. It was so real down to the freckles on her face and the tears in her voice. The AI had used his psychological profile, but he kept walking. She's not real, he whispered. He made it to the end in 32 minutes. 0 sensor hits. Cleanest run in the last 4 classes. Outside the tunnel, the crowd that had gathered didn't cheer. They just watched. Silently, some cadets looked away, uncomfortable. Others stared with something like fear. One muttered, "That's not natural." Another said, "That's not training. That's instinct." Later that night, as Adam stood by the base's energy fence, a voice approached him. It was Commander. "Gar, you did well," Gar said, arms crossed. Adam gave a small nod. "Thank you, sir." GHA studied him for a long time. "Where are you from, Cadet?" "Earth." Gar raised a brow. "They say humans were late to space. That your kind talks too much, fights too little." Adam smirked. "We're just quiet at first, that's all." The commander let out a rough laugh, and his tone changed. "There's another test tomorrow. The final one. You'll be placed with a fire team. Full combat simulation. You'll lead." Adam looked at him. "Sir, I'm just a cadet." Gar leaned closer. "And that's what worries them." He turned and walked away, leaving Adam under the night sky, lit with stars and distant flashes of satellites. The young human stood still, breathing the cold air, the wounds on his body healing slower than they should. But his mind was already planning. He wasn't here just to survive. He was here to prove something no one expected, that even among the most dangerous beings in the galaxy, a single human cadet could lead. And win. Into the fire 10th, sun rose early on Naver, casting sharp rays over the dust-covered camp. Cadets lined up in formation, armored up and fully geared. Today's test wasn't about balance, pain, or isolation. It was war. The simulation was called the Red Field, a full combat scenario with enemy drones, AI ambush, and objective capture. No single trainee survived it alone. Fire teams were assigned by the base AI based on performance and mental compatibility. The assignments appeared on the holoboard. A buzz ran through the crowd. Team A, the hardest sector. The toughest challenge had a surprising leader. Cadet Adam, human. He was grouped with 3 alien cadets. Tarn, a thick-skinned brawler from Krekta, known for smashing obstacles instead of going around them. Vila, a slim, speed-focused female with 4 eyes and fast hands. Korin, a quiet scout with cloaking skills and advanced senses. None of them spoke when they saw the team list. Tarn looked at Adam and gave a short grunt. Vila narrowed her eyes, almost insulted. Corinne, as always, just nodded once. The mission started with a fast drop from orbit into the valley zone. Explosions shook the air. Holographic enemy units moved like real ones, hunting, flanking, adapting. The AI pushed the challenge to its max settings for Team A go north. High ground, Adam said the moment they landed. Vala scoffed. That's exposed. Adam didn't argue. That's why they won't expect us. They hesitated, but followed Dot as they climbed through sharp rocks and unstable ledges. Enemy drones began to appear. Tarn charged the first one, roaring. Adam didn't stop him, but he tossed a beacon that made the second drone turn its sensors away. Dot, it saved Tarn's life. The brawler grunted again, but this time with respect. Halfway through the run, the team encountered a deadly Trap 6 AI-controlled turret bots guarding the pass. Vila hissed, "We go around." Adam studied the path, then pointed to a narrow ledge above the bots. "We go over." Vila, you distract. Corin, cloak and disable the far turret. Tarn and I will handle the middle. They followed the plan. It worked. In 5 minutes, the bots were down. Not one team member got hit. For the first time, Vila looked at Adam and said, "All right. Not bad." By the last phase of the sim, every fire team had been eliminated except 2, Team A and Team Zeta, an elite squad made up of top-performing cadets. They were waiting at the final bunker. Team Zeta had better gear, more experience, and held the high ground. As they approached, Vila asked, "What now, leader?" Adam didn't hesitate. "We act like we're retreating. Let them come down. Corin, place charges behind that ridge. Tarn, be ready to collapse the cliff." The others blinked, surprised. "You're baiting them?" Tarn asked. "No," Adam said. "I'm teaching them fear." The plan unfolded perfectly. Zeta moved forward, confident and loud. But when the charges blew and rocks fell, the high ground turned into a pit trap. Tarn charged, Vila cut through their flank, and Adam moved like a shadow fast. Brutal, efficient. 10 minutes later, it was over. Team A stood in the silent bunker, holding the objective. They had won. The base alarm sounded. Simulation complete. Team A, victory. Back at the camp, no one laughed anymore. Cadets stared at Adam as he walked past. Dirt on his face, one eye swollen, armor cracked. He didn't strut. He didn't celebrate. He just walked back to the mess hall, poured water, and sat down like it was another day. Commander Gar watched him from afar. He turned to his second-in-command. "Send a message to Earth Command," he said. "What should it say?" Gar smiled. "Your cadet broke our test, and now the galaxy knows it." Asterisk echoes through the stars. The news spread fast. What began as rumors on Navar's harsh training grounds became reports forwarded across military networks. High commands from multiple species, those who had once seen humanity as soft or primitive, began to pay attention. A human cadet had not only survived the most dangerous trials, he had outperformed them, led a team, defeated top squads, and he did it while injured. Across outposts, alien officers pulled up the footage. Analysts paused frame after frame, trying to explain the way Adam moved, how he ignored pain, predicted enemy behavior, and led with precision beyond his age and rank. But there was no secret weapon, no enhanced genetics, no secret device. Just a human. And that was what disturbed them most. Back on Navar, things had changed. Where once there were sneers, now there was silence. Cadets nodded to Adam when he passed. Some even asked for advice quietly, carefully. One day, as he sat on a stone bench near the edge of the training cliffs, Vila approached. "You know what they're saying, right?" She asked. Adam didn't look up. That I cheated? No. She said, that you're dangerous. He chuckled softly. That's new. Vila sat beside him. You scare them. Even Commander Gar. They don't understand how you keep going. Adam finally turned to her. You ever hear about ants? Back on Earth? She raised an eyebrow. Insects? What about them? They can lift 50 times their own weight. Small, ignored. But if they decide to work together, they can take down anything. She was quiet a moment. Then she asked, so you think humans are like ants? Adam smiled. No, we're the ones who figured out how to step on giants. Later that evening, he received a call, a private one. The display didn't show a name, just a symbol. A Terran eagle. He accepted. The screen flickered and showed a woman in a black military uniform. Her voice was calm, serious. Cadet Adam, this is Command Group Alpha, Terran Special Forces. Adam straightened. You're being watched, she said. Your performance has gone beyond expectations. I was just doing the test, he replied. Yes, she said. And now every alien government within 10 light years knows your name. You've done what we needed. What do you mean? The woman leaned forward. Humans are always underestimated. It's how we win. But every so often, we need someone to remind the galaxy why they shouldn't forget us. She paused. You're not done yet. The next day, Commander Gar met with Adam in the strategy hall. You're leaving, the commander said. Adam nodded. Transfer orders. 2. Where? Adam smiled. They didn't tell me. Gar stepped closer, then did something no one expected. He offered his hand. Adam took it. You've changed things here, the commander said. The cadets, they're different now. You made them think. About what? Adam asked. Gar gave a low growl of approval. About what pain really is, and what strength really looks like. As the shuttle lifted off, many cadets stood silently in formation. Tarn, Vila, Corin, even those who once mocked him, they didn't wave. They stood at attention. They knew this wasn't the last they'd hear of the human cadet. He had come to train. But he left as something more. A message. To the entire galaxy. Asterisk, the hidden assignment. Adam's new orders didn't come through a terminal. They arrived with a courier ship, unmarked, silent, and dark as space itself. The pilot didn't speak. The only thing he handed Adam was a sealed black case and a message pad that simply read, observe, adapt, lead. Orders will follow. No rank, no insignia, no location details. The ship took him to a deep space relay station, Station 9. It floated near the edge of contested territory, where unknown ships often vanished and diplomatic zones crumbled. The place was cold, forgotten, manned by only a dozen personnel from different species. The commanding officer, an older alien with tired eyes, stared when Adam arrived. You're the human cadet? He asked, surprised. You're younger than expected. Adam nodded. Still reporting for duty, sir. The officer scoffed. You're not here to fight. You're here to see what others can't. He pointed at a wall map of nearby sectors. Something's stirring out here. Fleets moving in silence. Stations going dark. Intel says it's just pirates or raiders. The officer leaned in closer. But I think it's a test. I think someone's watching us. Over the next few days, Adam moved quietly through the station. He asked questions no one expected. He walked maintenance routes, listened in the cafeteria, trained in the empty hangar at night. He wasn't looking for enemies. He was watching how people reacted to fear. And he saw it, a pattern in their eyes, the nervous glances, the whispered rumors. The way 2 engineers faked system checks but spent hours near restricted access ports. Adam confronted one of them in the reactor bay. "You've been signaling someone outside," he said flatly. The engineer froze. "What?" "No, code. Flashes through the station lights. 1 every 2 hours. I saw the pattern. How could you possibly? I pay attention." Adam didn't even draw a weapon. The engineer just sank to the floor. Within hours. Command verified it. Someone had been sending position updates to an unknown fleet. Likely an invasion force. The old station officer called Adam to his private quarters. "Who trained you?" he asked. Adam shrugged. "Just followed orders. No cadet sees like that. Moves like that." He leaned back, watching him. "They didn't send a scout. They sent a signal." Adam met his gaze. "Then we'd better be ready." The next morning, sensors picked up a blip. Then 10. Then 50. Unknown warships. Silent, appearing one after another beyond the system's edge. Every station near the border went dark. Adam stared at the screen. "Time to evac?" asked a nervous comms officer. "No," Adam said. "Time to stand." The old commander looked at him. "You think we can win?" Adam's voice was calm. "We just need to show them one thing." "What's that?" Adam turned to the window, where distant ships glowed red. The humans never break first. That day, Adam was no longer just a cadet. He took control of the defense systems, issued orders, coordinated the few fighters they had, used everything he'd learned, not just strength, but strategy, psychology, pattern recognition. As the first wave of enemy drones neared, he didn't flinch. His orders were clear. And when the first enemy vessel burned in orbit, a single message was sent to the fleet. "This outpost holds a human." What followed was silence. And then retreat. Not because of weapons, but because whoever had sent that fleet realized the human wasn't alone. He was a sign. The Earth was watching. And Earth had just let one of its monsters off the leash. The cadet who changed everything. The enemy fleet didn't return. Not that day. Not the next. Not even a week later. Across the stars, alien governments read the battle logs from Station 9. A fleet of over 40 hostile ships turned away without firing a shot after a single human took charge of a dying outpost. And that human wasn't even an officer. He was just a cadet. The message spread like wildfire. Military councils argued. Some thought it was a lie propaganda, but sensor data didn't lie. The enemy ships were real. Their disappearance was real. And the Terran presence on Station 9? Confirmed. So whispers started in every command hall. If this is what a human cadet can do, what happens when the adults show up? Back on Station 9, things were quieter now. The traitor had been shipped off. The outpost had received emergency upgrades. And Adam, though still officially listed as a trainee, had been given full command privileges. He refused rank. He wore no medals, but everyone listened when he spoke. Vila, now stationed at a different base, sent him a message. "Heard what you did? Figures. You're still terrifying. Stay alive, human." Tarn's message was simpler. "Next time, leave something for the rest of us to smash." Even Commander Gar sent a brief transmission. "Earth should be proud. You didn't just pass the test. You rewrote it." Then one day, another unmarked Terran ship docked. It was sleek, black, quiet. Out stepped a man in gray armor with no markings. He handed Adam a small, sealed letter. Adam opened it. Inside was a single sentence. "You are now one of us." No. Signature. No instruction. But Adam understood. He turned to the station commander and nodded. "I'm leaving," he said. "Where?" the officer asked. Adam strapped on his pack. "Wherever they need me." He didn't wait for permission. He didn't need it anymore. As he walked down the corridor, younger cadets stood aside. They didn't salute. They just watched, eyes wide with silent awe. He had come to train. He had stayed to protect. And now he walked as something different, something more. Not a soldier, not a hero. A warning dot to every corner of the galaxy, that even the youngest of Earths, children, could face the storm and walk through it unbroken.